Hey, good morning. Okay, we are live again for another Saturday morning breath work and meditation practice. So, welcome. Today, we're going to be tapping into our power, our willpower, our discipline. Sometimes that word is scary, but our own discipline, our ability to harness, contain, tap into that and use it whenever we need to call upon it. So, before we get started, I want to unpack that just a little bit more and talk about where we are energetically. So, first, I'd like to say happy Diwali to all my community. We'll be celebrating over the next few days. Tomorrow is the new moon. So, we also have this very internal rest, darkness, sort of reflective type of energy coming in as sort of a very beautiful gift as we're navigating the changes of the year. So, Diwali is often referred to as the Festival of Lights, and it symbolizes this triumph and this celebration of this battle between what we used to consider, I guess, good and evil. But we know we're moving beyond that. It's not as simple as that. There are shades of that, right? But let's think about it as this triumph of knowledge over ignorance. So, times when we have moved into a place of knowing, we have moved beyond the illusion and we've gotten to that truth to get to a place that has more guidance for us, to where we're not getting caught up in all the external and all the things that are meant to get us off task. So I want to open that up from the beginning for you to reflect on where you're at for the year. This year has been tough. It's been a lot of change. It's been a lot of adapting, a lot of innovating, a lot of grieving, a lot of isolation and struggle for many of us. And yet, here you are. You made it. You're alive. You're here today. So let's talk about how we continue by making the time to celebrate and to dance and to sing and to find joy in those movements, because those are the things that remind us that we're alive, that we are still here. We will continue to strive and work. The work is never done, but how can we find joy and celebrate how far we've come? So take a moment to just lovingly pat yourself on the back, give yourself a hug, connect with your heart space, and just celebrate how much that you have done. Take a moment to give yourself a little bit of kindness and compassion. So when we're looking at more of change that is to come, there's a saying, the only thing that in this life that is inevitable is death and taxes. But we know by the laws of the universe and physics that change is inevitable. It continues to happen whether we like it or not. Understanding that our resistance to change is very much just how the body, how the mind is programmed to work. Change is comforting. I'm sorry, the lack of change is comforting. Staying the same is like a warm blanket where you never have to feel anything new, never have to challenge yourself, and you can just keep repeating the same patterns over and over again, right? Until sometimes it creates a little bit of a conflict. There are changes that are calling to us, things that are pulling to us. And it's in that moment where we recognize, okay, if I don't move through this change, maybe there's something else that I might lose. Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it's an attachment that I have to my values that I'm not living up to. or many plethora of things. We all have different experiences, right? But we can sense where that struggle comes in with the mind. And it can be a real paradox because we may even, on an intellectual level, we may understand this change is calling to me. These are things that I want to implement, things that I would like to be able to step into in my life, or something external may be calling me, right? But we're not quite able to live that out in the physical world yet. There's a space between where we are now and where we would like to be. And that creates a bit of conflict, and that creates a bit of paradox there, right? So, what we can do to move through these times is to hold tight to our values, hold tight to our truths, and let that be a guidepost in moving forward. And learning how to, again, if we're talking about harnessing our power, learning how to flex that willpower. So it's in the navel here. We think about our body and just how it's connected on a physiological level from like an anatomical perspective. Your core is the center. It is the thing that keeps you in balance. It is the thing that where all of your food and everything nourishes you to give you more power. So we're going to be tapping into that today with Surya Kriya. But we'll get to that in a minute. But the thing that I want you to hang on to, and this is something that a friend passed along to me today, is this mantra of just reminding yourself that discipline is a muscle. And at any time, we can choose to flex it. And it's just remembering, okay, what do I value most? What is one of those values that I can hang on to and let that be my guidepost? And then slowly, how can I let my actions reflect that? Just one at a time. You know, we're not going to get it perfect. We're going to mess up. We're going to fail. Sometimes more gracefully than others. Sometimes it might be just a little whoops. Sometimes it might be a face plant. But we can just continue again with the next moment, the next breath, and just remind ourselves that it's within our power to figure out how to harness that and use that whenever it's appropriate. So think of your own strengths today. Think of your own power. Think of your values that are guiding you, your truth. Learn how to let everything just kind of fall away. Who cares what other people are talking about? Who cares what other people may be pressuring to do? Other people are saying you should be living your life this way. You should be doing this. What is your truth? And how do you want to move forward for that? So in today's practice, we're going to mentally vibrate. This is like a 1-2 combo that we're going to be doing. We have Surya Kriya, and it has a little bit of a meditation built into the end already and throughout. So we're going to be tapping into the mantra of Satnam. So it sounds like but mom, Satnam. And that means truth is my identity. So again, whenever we're working through these kriyas, we use the breath as an anchor, and we can use the mantra as an anchor. If the mind starts to wander, if it's impatient with sitting still, if it wants to start creating stories or telling us why a thing is scary or why we can't do that thing, or maybe just even breezing past all of the fear centers and just going like, yes, that's great, and not even taking a moment to go like, well, what's the deeper story here beyond the surface, right? Coming back to that center, coming back to the truth as my identity is a place where we can harness and then choose to move forward. So Surya Kriya is a really beautiful one. Surya is sun. So we're tapping into that sun energy right now. Figuratively, I suppose we could all use more sunlight right now with that vitamin D, but it's tapping in again to this navel center. That's where the sun, your solar plexus chakra is at. And I always like to think of this kind of as like Care Bear stare a little bit. So you see the Care Bears, they all have their own little values, they have their own little principles that they live by, and then they all join forces and they have this moment where you just see that bright light beam shining out of them where their power is coming out after they've harnessed it, right? It's like that. So there will be a little bit of containment practice in this one. We'll apply Mulband or root lock, which we've practiced before, which is a bit of a pulling up on that pelvic floor to learn to contain that energy inwards and just forget about everything else in the external. And then we'll ground ourselves with that meditation, with the Satnam, but I'll guide you through it whenever it's time. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's take some time to get set up on our mat, just sitting in a simple, easy cross-leg position. And start to come into a space where you are just connected to your body, connected to your breath. So the hands may be on the tops of the knees, they may be down towards the ground, just depending on how you're feeling. Just start to slowly breathe in and out through the nose. Letting everything else fall away. Noticing how the breath is showing up in the body. So maybe you feel it just in the nose, maybe you feel it in the lungs, in the chest. Maybe you feel it in your shoulders or your back body. Maybe you feel it deep in the belly, originating from the diaphragm. If you can get there, if you can be flexible in your practice today, let's work on tapping into that deep belly breathing. Tapping into that solar plexus chakra. Tapping into the seat of our willpower, our autonomy. You don't need permission from anyone else to be your true, authentic self. Focus on making the rhythm of the breath now as smooth and fluid as possible. Allow it to continue in a cycle so that the lines between the inhale and the exhale become increasingly blurred. Recognizing here that even your breath is a change. Moving from the inhale, transferring to the exhale. With the awareness that each ending is the beginning of something new. Begin to focus now on the sensation of touch in your body. Notice where your body is connected to the ground. So it may be the sits bones underneath your bum, maybe the side of your foot, your ankle, maybe the side of your calf or your shin. Wherever these spaces are, recognize them as your foundation and allow them to support yourself through your practice today. When you have that foundation set, go ahead, bring that gaze inward and upward at the third eye. Use that foundation now to lengthen the spine from the base all the way up through the crown of the head. So we're allowing that foundation of the body to root us as we rise up through the rest of our posture, one vertebrae at a time. Noticing how the breath can be a facilitator here, inviting more space into the body. Allow the chest to lift just slightly. Feel that expansion in the upper body and the top of the lungs. With your next inhale, bring the shoulders up towards the ears. And then exhale, roll them down and back so that they sit just a little lower than before. And with that gaze still at the third eye, take a moment here to check in with your values. What is one specifically that's been calling to you? What do you value most? Now that you have that value, keep in mind, what is one quality, one action that you would need to embody, not just in today's practice, but something that you can take off of the mat in order to see this value in action in your life. When you have that one quality, go ahead and visualize yourself hand writing it on your favorite colored Post-it note and sticking it just to the inside of the forehead. As we move forward with these changes and these actions, also find some time to make space for compassion as we are focused on progress, not perfection. So how can you be kind to yourself even when you don't get it right? How can you find the resiliency to get back up on that horse, so to say, to start over just with this breath and this moment and begin again? So from here, with that intention, that action in your mind's eye, take the hands and rub them together at heart center, creating a little bit of heat, friction, activating energy to solidify that. Keep that foundation as you're moving through here. Very good. When you've got that sealed in, go ahead and find stillness at heart center with those palms pressed together. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. And inhale to tune in. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Inhale deeply. Suspend the breath. Apply Mulban. So pull up on the pelvic floor. Feel that energy containment, but also visualize it spiraling from the base of the spine all the way up through the crown of the head. Before it's uncomfortable, slowly exhale through the nose. Let the arms float down either to the tops of the knees or to the ground. Keep that gaze inward and upward and just take a moment to witness the space that you've created. Do a mental scan of the body. Notice where you may be hanging on to some tension. Maybe celebrate triumphantly where you may already feel a bit of expansion just from vibrating and projecting your own voice. Also a source of power. Take a moment to check in with the mind. Notice how calm or active it may be in this moment. And check in with your spirit. How free with your expression have you been lately? Alrighty, when you're ready, you can blink your eyes open. Begin with a bit of warm-ups. So let the hands come to the tops of the knees. We're gonna work on opening up that hip center a little bit, working on the bottom of the spine. Begin to rotate the heart center around the base of the spine. Anchoring yourself with that breath. So we're going to inhale as we move forward. Exhale as we rotate back. Keeping that gaze inward and upward at the third eye. Moving at whatever pace feels right to you today. On your next exhale, take a moment to pause and then begin rotating in the opposite direction. So inhaling forward Exhaling back, keeping that chest and that heart center nice and lifted. Maybe just noticing here with a bit of curiosity, if there's any difference between this side and the one that we just moved through. Very good. Okay, slowly begin to make those circles smaller and smaller to get to a neutral space at center. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Very good. Allow yourself to come into a tabletop position now. We're going to be on hands and knees. So hands rest underneath the shoulder blades here. Knees underneath the hips. And we're going to do a bit of stretching here. So it's going to take a little bit of pulling in that navel point. Again, that core is your center, right? So we're going to get that balance. So what you want to do is on the inhale, we're going to do left or right hand forward, left foot back. So the heel reaches back, the fingers pull forward. The nose is pointed down with the head also reaching forward. Allowing that navel point to support you here. Reach, and on the exhale, come back. On the inhale, opposite. So that would be the left hand out, the right foot back, that heel reaching for the wall. Hand on the top of the head, reaching for the wall, and then exhale down. So going at your own pace here. Really focusing on lengthening and stretching. Again, the nose points down with the top of the head also reaching with the hand. Very good. Okay, inhale forward. Exhale, let yourself come down into child's pose. So seated on the heels, forehead comes to the mat. Maybe you need an extra pillow or something to support yourself here. This is a bit low, a bit of a big stretch for you. Let the arms come out in front. Just for some long, deep breathing here. Feeling that breath. Noticing it, inhabit the back body. The rib cage and the shoulder blades. And then you feel it through the backs of the legs, through the glutes. Good. On your next inhale, place the hands underneath the shoulders. Use them to push yourself up slowly so that your head is the last to rise. Let yourself come back into cross-leg position. Last part of the warm-up here. Again, we're going to focus on opening that heart center, working on the shoulder girdle just a bit. If you have any issues with the shoulders, be really gentle with yourself through this. we're just going to sweep the arms in circular motion. So inhaling up, exhaling down, moving forward. Just let your fingertips slowly sweep the ground. So inhaling up, exhaling down. Keeping that foundation. Remember where your foundation is. Let your foundation do all the work so that the shoulders, the neck, the muscles on the face can be relaxed and soft. Good. On your next exhale, take a moment to pause and then begin rotating back. Still inhaling on the way up, exhaling on the way down. Very good. Okay, let's do two more. Okay, then inhale, reach those arms up. Exhale, slowly let the arms float down. Take a moment here just to let the breath regulate. Again, check in with your space. Do a scan. Mind, body, spirit. How are you feeling? Okay. Go ahead and blink your eyes open whenever you're ready. Let the right hand come into Gyan Mudra, rested on the knee. So Gyan is index finger and thumb touching, just resting there. The left hand is going to the left thumb, cover the left nostril so that we can breathe, inhale through the right nostril with that belly, with that solar plexus, getting that deep, powerful breathing. So imagine that it's originating from the belly, from the diaphragm here. Just inhaling and exhaling powerfully through the left side. I'm sorry, the right side. Gazes up at the third eye. Just focus on that deep, powerful breathing through the right nostril. Mind is starting to become very active here. Again, just anchor to that breath. Focus on consciously breathing through the diaphragm, letting that be a powerful, conscious breath that you are in control of here. Notice how the mind takes a back seat if we focus here. Very good. Okay, inhale deeply through both nostrils. Exhale completely. Let yourself come into rock pose now. So this is seated upon the heels. I like to place something between the thighs and the calves, just because I have some issues with my knees. If your knees are really tight and start to hurt after being in this pose, I recommend you getting a rolled up blanket or some type of pillow or something in place there. We're going to be here now for 2 rounds of Sat Kriya. So we've practiced this many times before, but if you're a first timer, basically what you're going to want to do is pump the Sat from that navel point. It's similar to what we did last week with Breath of Fire, where you're focusing on the pumping, and then as it rebounds out, or that bounce back, right, that's going to give you that extra bit of air that's actually the inhale. So it's sort of what you put into it is what you get out, okay? So the fingers are going to be interlaced with the thumbs crossed, whichever way feels most comfortable to you. The index fingers are pointed up. Arms come above the head so that the elbows kind of squeezing against the head a little bit here, tightly and straight. Chest is lifted, chin is slightly down and back. Gaze is inward and upward at the third eye. And we chant Sat Nam. 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 Sat Sat Nam. 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 Quick exhale. Deep inhale. Suspend the breath. Apply Mula, so squeeze, pull up on that pelvic floor. Visualize that energy radiating and spiraling from the base of the spine all the way up to the crown of the head. Before it's uncomfortable, Exhale through the nose, let the arms float down. If you'd like, you can come down off of the heels for just a moment. Let the breath regulate. And just be with your truth right now. Good. Okay, when you're ready, go ahead and bring yourself back to seated on those heels in rock pose. One more round of Sakriya. Again, focus on your foundation. Focus on where you are rooted so that you can rise through the rest of this posture. Foundation is down here, and that easelessness, that just soft grace, soft shoulders, soft neck, soft muscles on the face. Fingers interlaced, index fingers pointed up, arms overhead, elbows squeezing in, armpits rotated in, chin slightly down and back, chest lifted, gaze at the third eye. Sit, 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 sit. Quick exhale. Deep inhale. Suspend the breath. Apply Mulabandha. So squeeze, pull up on that pelvic floor. Visualize as you contain that energy. Visualize that energy radiating from the navel point, from your core, through all the areas of the body, through the crown of the head, up through the arms, up through the fingertips. And exhale slowly through the nose, let the arms float down. Let yourself come off of the heels. You can take a moment to stretch out the legs if you'd like, to lean back, maybe bounce the knees a little bit, do a little windshield wiper movement, maybe even flexing from the ends of the toes all the way up to the tops of the hips. Good. Okay, from here, come back into a cross-leg position. You can always, if you're trying to get your sits bones aligned, you can always just kind of lift yourself up a little bit and then come right back down and see how that feels. From here, we'll do spinal flexes. So let the hands come to the front of the knees And we're going to be flexing that lower spine here, just moving forward on the inhale, backwards on the exhale, getting a little bit of flexibility in that lower spine. But we're also going to bring that mantra in. We're going to mentally vibrate. Sat as we move forward, Nam as we move backwards. Truth is my identity. See how you can make this a fluid, rocking back and forth movement. Let the head stay pretty stable, like it's floating. Okay, now we're going to step it up a notch. So as you're still moving through this one, on each exhale, we're going to apply movement and give that pelvic floor a little squeeze. Still inhale, side, exhale, round. A little bit of squeeze and then exhale, rocking back. See how that feels differently here. Good. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Very good. Okay, let yourself come into a squatted position now. We're going to get ready for frog pose. So if you have any difficulty with this one, you can always take that rolled up blanket and place it underneath the heels here. So you're going to want to keep the heels lifted throughout. And what you do for frog pose, you keep the hands in front here to help balance. The feet are face out just a bit, so at a 45-degree angle with the heels touching. Fingers stay in front, and on the inhale, we're going to push up through the feet, through the balls of the feet. Allow the nose to come as close to the knees as possible. We're not going to be a hero today, though, so work with your own body. Don't overextend anything. On the exhale, we come back down. So the inhale, we move up. The exhale, we move down. We're moving back and forth this way. So go ahead and do 13 of these at your own pace. And when you're ready and you're done, you can just come into a forward bend, a forward fold at standing, okay? Very good. Okay, come back down to be seated upon the tops of the heels here. Again, getting that blanket if you need it to give your knees a little bit of support and love. Bring back in that mental mantra for our anchor here. So let the gaze stay at the third eye. Let the hands come to the tops of the thighs. And as you inhale, let the nose come towards the left side. Mentally vibrate sucked. On the exhale, let the nose come towards the right. Mentally vibrate numb. So the rest of the body is just hanging out, supporting. And we're just moving the neck here, back and forth. Very smoothly, fluidly, not forcing anything. Just opening up that throat chakra. Working on our thyroid and parathyroid glands. Good. Inhale forward. Exhale. Take a moment here just to come down, lying down onto your back. Just for a quick minute or two of relaxation. We're not done yet. Just taking a moment to pause. Check in with your space. Notice how you feel, mind, body, spirit. Inhale deeply. Exhale consciously. On that next inhale, bring the feet together, bring the arms up overhead for a full body stretch. Just like you're waking up in the morning. On your next exhale, slowly bring the knees into the chest. Rock side to side and feel yourself lengthening the spine as you do this. Lengthen through the tailbone here. There you go. And from here, you can either bring the nose to the knees, bring the feet overhead, and then rock and roll along the spine a few times until you come to seated. Or you can simply turn over to one side and push yourself up, making your way back to a seated cross-leg position. Good. From here, again, make sure those sit bones are connected to the ground. Let the hands come to the tops of the shoulders here. And we're going to do a bit of swaying from side to side. So we're inhaling to the left, exhaling to the right. Keeping that gaze at the third eye. And we're really just moving here from the rib cage. So again, keeping that stable foundation. Just moving from the top. We're like palm trees here. Palm trees can sustain boatloads of wind without being damaged or broken down. Flexible, they just sway. So you sway side to side. We're not trying to touch the ground here. We're just getting that rib cage adjustment. Imagine yourself as a little palm tree, moving through the winds of change. Not being uprooted, staying grounded in your power, staying grounded in your foundation. This pose also helps to act almost like a little windshield wiper for our aura or magnetic field that surrounds us. So think of it as squeegeeing away all of that funkiness, all of societal pressures, all of other people's expectations for their lives. Wiping away that muck, only making room for ourselves, our power to be transmitted out. Very good. Inhale to center. Slowly, let the arms come down. Let the hands come to the tops of the knees in Gyan Mudra. And this is a bit of a meditation here that we will do. So you're going to sit in this posture with the gaze at the third eye. We will bring in the navel point just slightly to that space right near, just below where the belly button is. Bringing that in. Applying Mulabandha, so pulling up on the pelvic floor. Inhaling and vibrating Sat mentally. Exhaling, vibrating neurons. So you're keeping this meditative posture. You're holding on to those locks. You're vibrating mentally and you're focusing on the breath. This is a lot like spinning a couple of plates, but it's a deeply healing meditation. You can focus on containing that energy, harnessing your power. If you drop out or flub, don't worry, you can always begin again with the next breath, just focusing on this moment with this breath. Very good. Okay, inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Allow yourself to come lying down onto your back for deep relaxation. So let your feet spread as wide as your mat. Let your arms fall away from the sides of your body, palms facing up. Let the shoulders fall away from the ears. Begin to relax your breath as you sink into your support here. So relax the tops of your feet, your ankles, calves, knees and thighs. As you relax your breath, relax your belly. Relax the lower back. Relax the rib cage and shoulder blades as you feel yourself melting into the floor. Relax the arms, the elbows, wrists, and hands. Again, make sure the shoulders are falling away from the ears So you can relax the neck. Relax the jaw so there's space between the teeth. Relax the lips and the mouth. The muscles on the face. The eyes behind the eyelids. Brow. Forehead. Scalp are all at ease as your head rests gently against the ground. Take this time now to rest and integrate all the work that you've put in today. As your energy circulates through your body, healing your 3 trillion plus cells. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. As you return back to your body in this moment in time and space, Begin to invite tiny movements into your fingertips and toes. Begin to rotate the hands around the wrists, and the feet around the ankles in all directions. On your next inhale, bring the feet together, bring the arms up overhead for another full body stretch. Just like you're waking up in the morning. The next exhale, slowly bring the knees into the chest. Give yourself a little hug, rock from side to side, lengthen through the tailbone here. From here, begin to rub briskly together the palms of the hands, the soles of the feet. Rub the tongue along the roof of the mouth, stimulating the body's energy centers and meridian points. And then from here, again, either bring the nose to the knees, bring the feet over the head to rock and roll along the spine. A few times to bring yourself to seated, or you can simply turn over to one side and push yourself up. Letting your gaze come inward and upward one more time, bringing the hands together at heart center. Recalling that post-it note one last time, that action, that quality that you will embody to use your power, to see your values in action as we navigate through the paradox of change. Know that you can always call on that anytime you are on or away from the mat. You can let your breath be your anchor. Your willpower be your anchor. So now we send our peace and blessings out by singing the Long Time Sunshine song for the first time to ourselves, the second time out to everyone we know, everyone we have yet to meet along this journey towards self-mastery. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. And inhale to sing. May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Guide your way on. Guide your way on. May we be happy. May we be healthy. May we be holistically in union, mind, body, spirit. May we remember that we are the ones who harness our power. that discipline is a muscle. Satnam. Salam, everyone. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today on this lovely Saturday morning or on demand, anytime that you may be tapping into this. If you have it within you, if you're feeling abundant, please take the time if you can to donate to the studio on the Buck to Basics website at bucktobasics.com. Subscribe for more videos to our ever growing library. Send to a friend or family member that you think may benefit from it. And I will see you again next time. Satnam.